Right now, the world is watching tension rise. Powerful nations are speaking louder. Borders are being questioned. And suddenly, Greenland is in the headlines. But before we talk about Greenland, before we talk about America, let me ask you something important. Do you really know Donald Trump? Not the businessman on television, not the president giving speeches, but the mind behind the man. A mind shaped by power, money, discipline, and ego. How did a child from New York grow into a leader who divides the world? Is this chaos accidental? Or was this personality built brick by brick since childhood? Today, we uncover the full biography of Donald Trump. And by the end of this video, I want you to decide, is he the problem, or is he exactly what this world created? Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York. He was born into wealth, but wealth did not mean warmth. His father, Fred Trump, was a strict and dominant real estate tycoon. In his world, there were only two types of people: winners and losers. Young Donald watched his father closely. He learned that money was power, that confidence was everything, and that empathy was weakness. Donald was aggressive, energetic, and rebellious. At just 13 years old, his parents sent him to a military academy. Comfort was replaced by discipline. Emotion was replaced by control. This was not punishment. This was training. Military school did not break Donald Trump. It sharpened him. He learned leadership. He learned dominance. And he learned that authority demands obedience. After military school, Trump studied economics. On the outside, he was just another rich businessman's son. But inside, he wanted more than inheritance. He wanted recognition. Donald did not want to stay in the shadow of his father. He wanted his own identity, his own spotlight. He believed his name itself was a brand, a belief that would later define his life. During these years, Trump developed unshakable confidence. Some would call it arrogance. He believed failure was temporary, and victory was destiny. Donald Trump entered Manhattan real estate with bold ambition. Manhattan was dangerous territory. Powerful players, brutal competition. But Trump did not hesitate. He built luxury. He built height. He built spectacle. Trump Tower was not just a building. It was a message. I am here. But behind the gold letters there were cracks. Risky loans. Massive debts. Failed casinos. Collapsed businesses. For most people, this would be the end. But Trump controlled the narrative. Even when the numbers were red, his confidence stayed golden. He understood one truth: perception can defeat reality. Donald Trump realized something powerful. Attention equals influence. The more people talked about him, the stronger he became. Television transformed Trump. The Apprentice presented him not as a man, but as an authority figure. You're fired. 2 words. Absolute control. This was not entertainment. This was branding. A psychological image of power. When Donald Trump entered politics, the world laughed. But laughter slowly turned into silence. He spoke directly, without filters, without fear. He understood frustration. He understood anger. And he used it. Donald Trump did not just run for president. He challenged the system itself. As president, Trump ruled differently. Allies felt uncertain. Enemies felt pressure. His words could shake markets. His tweets could move nations. Some saw strength. Others saw danger. But nobody could ignore him. And now Greenland, a land of ice, a symbol of strategy. Is this ambition or obsession with dominance? Is this leadership or the same mindset shaped in childhood? So now I ask you, is Donald Trump the problem behind global tension? Or is he the reflection of a world that rewards power over peace? The answer is yours. Because this story is far from over. There is something the world always forgets. War never announces itself. It doesn't arrive with sirens. It arrives quietly. Through ambition, through pride, through power. Every generation believes this time is different, that leaders have learned, that history will not repeat itself. But history has heard those words before. Before World War I, nations competed for influence. Before World War II, they competed for land. And before every global collapse, there was confidence. Confidence that control could be managed. Look at the world today. Strategic regions are becoming important again. Ice is melting. New routes are opening. Resources once unreachable are now within reach. Greenland is not alone. It represents something bigger. A future where geography becomes power. Where control of land decides influence. And influence decides survival. When powerful nations begin to look outward, history tells us to pay attention. Because power never exists in isolation. One move demands a response. One decision invites reaction. And one miscalculation can pull the world into something no one planned. This is how tension grows. Not through explosions, but through expectations. Through lines that are tested. Through silence that feels heavier than words. And when leaders speak the language of strength, others feel pressured to answer in the same language. That is how escalation begins. Slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. The frightening part is this. Nobody ever believes they are starting a disaster. They believe they are protecting their interests. But history does not care about intentions. It only remembers consequences. And when power, pride, and fear collide, the people are never the ones who decide. Yet they are always the ones who suffer. So the real question is not about Greenland, or about one leader, or about one country. The real question is, are we watching the same patterns form again, while convincing ourselves that this time will be different? Because history doesn't warn us loudly. It whispers, and only those who listen early get a chance to stop it. Like this video and subscribe for more.